welcome to our live for Happy Life Results book group.
Hey everyone, this is the second time we've done it on a Saturday. This will be our new time moving forward. So if you're tuning in live, this is the right time, you're in the right place. So let's get started with any announcements we have, which we have one announcement.
Yes, and that is that last week we tried something new and we encouraged everyone in the group to post their own posts instead of restricting it to the comments and to the playground. We said, let's open it up to the group and you guys can post the things that you're experiencing with this section, with this the hero section. So yeah, so we're encouraging anyone who didn't get the message to go ahead, they can post, and we'll try it for another week. It seemed to go well last week.
Yep. So we are, as a group, we are in the hero stage, which means that we've moved beyond theory and we're looking at ways to implement change in our life, application, ways actually doing hero work. And so if you're not caught up to the hero sections, that's totally fine. Just keep moving forward at whatever stage you're at. But because we're at the hero stage, that's why Stacy's opened it up to any kind of post about your experience, what you're working on, what's helped you in the past, anything that you think would be beneficial to the group, either to inspire or to get support from the group.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah.
All right, that was our announcement.
Okay, so we have, if you have any questions and you tune in live, feel free to drop them there in the comments and we'll get to them. And if we also have a question already. So this question has to do with, they're trying to understand the model for emotions and the joystick and kind of how to use that to make a change. So one of the areas that they were working on is kind of their self-image or self-acceptance. And the question has to do with if you're going to change the lens about something like that, some kind of, the way you habitually have done things, have experienced, the way you view yourself and that kind of thing, and you go to change it. Their question had to do with, doesn't it mean that on a neurological level, you're trying to detach and rewire these aspects of your psyche and record different tapes that may play in your head? It seems like an almost impossible feat for so many as anything else, simply not possible. So how does that work when there's something so ingrained? And they know it's possible because they've experienced it at some levels, but how does that work? Are you, it sounds pretty intense trying to detach or rewire, change your programming, get new recordings, that kind of stuff. So what?
Yeah, so one of the things, can I
go.
All right,
go.
One of the things I thought about is that this is like any other skill. This is like any other skill you've learned. And if it's a physical skill or mental skill, it's the same process. And so just because we're dealing with emotions and dealing with self-image and dealing with things that are in a different category in your mind, possibly, than learning other things, changing how you perceive yourself seems like something less tangible or something more, I don't know, like it goes in a different realm than just changing the way I do something, learning a new habit, learning a new skill. But it really is as simple as learning a new skill. And the whatever processes that you've already applied to learn a new skill, you can apply to this. And there's a word I'm looking for, and I think people know kind of what I'm talking about. Like if you're talking about learning to play the piano, it's very tangible, it's very measurable, it's very, it seems very real. Like, right? Your ability to play the piano seems very real, but your perception of yourself doesn't seem as tangible, doesn't seem as much of a thing. But to realize that the thoughts that you think about yourself are patterns and they're habits, and then to change it, it's like learning any other skill. You apply the same techniques that you learned to learning a new language, to learning math, to learning to play the piano. You apply the same things to this, and And I think it's helpful to think of it as not much different. It's not much different.
So one follow-on question to that: what if they've tried to learn the piano and they had a hard time learning the piano? So is there something that would be helpful as far as, okay, so now you're talking about learning this skill of changing so many things about the way you view things, about what you think is possible, where you look for your joy, the outside in, all those different, nine concepts.
9 concepts.
And
Plus
all the tips
for the hero.
all of that stuff. So there's a lot of learning just to see the process you're describing.
Yes.
And then there's getting good at it and applying it.
Yes.
So what would you say as far as what can help? How can a person get better at learning these new skills?
Yes. And I love that you asked that, because we talk a lot about overwhelm, and if you're looking at it the way you described, someone might feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Like the way you described it, it does sound daunting. And so one thing is to kind of rest assured that it's worth it. Whatever time and energy you put into this process is worth it, because the dividends that it pays are exponential. It affects every area of your life, all of the way that you feel and the results that you get. So just number one is just to kind of rest assured that whatever effort you put into it, it's worth it. It's not just I tried and I failed.
Okay, yeah, I like that.
Because with piano, you could be like, oh, I tried and I failed.
Yeah.
But with this, any tiny amount you try is going to give you future success.
Ooh, that's nice. I that's kind of fun, because also if you're comparing, and this goes way back to the first week we were doing this.
Yes.
If you're comparing the outcome, like the benefits of learning to play the piano, a lot of times you're learning it because you're hoping that learning to play the piano will also improve the way you feel at some level. And we get inconsistent results when we go at it from the outside. Hey, Sarah, welcome. Hey, she's back. Last week she couldn't be here during the live, so glad she's here.
Oh, yay, maybe it's good we're doing it on Saturdays.
Yeah, I hope so. But in this case, what Stacy's teaching, as you get better at the skill, and you just described that it's something like learning the piano, but when you get good at playing the piano, it may or may not bring more happiness to your life. It may or may not bring more results to your life.
Yes.
If you get good at what Stacy's teaching, you will experience more positive emotions, and you will get better results in any area of your life you choose.
Yes.
So if you're going to focus on either piano or what Stacy's teaching, and you look at what can happen on the other side of learning it, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
So that's just a simple, it's worth it.
It's worth it. So that was my first kind of thing to think about. And then when I mentioned overwhelm, to reframe the way you feel about overwhelm, to say, okay, so think of the physiological response to overwhelm. What's going on? How does it feel in different parts of your body? And then think about it. Those sensations are neutral. They're not something to avoid or go toward. Initially, you're getting a response in your body, and then what you want to do is reframe it to where it is something you want to go toward.
Okay. So let me parrot back what I just heard. Okay, so we kind of described all of the things that a person's trying to learn this new skill, and it can seem there's a lot. But so if we look at it all at once, it can be overwhelming, and we know the number one reason that people fall out of courses, don't take action, anything, is they get overwhelmed. And so one of the concepts is the signals, and you're saying that the way the common way to approach those signals is, if you start to get those signals, hey, this is new, and they're interpreted as a threat, then that's why people just back away. They back away.
Yeah.
And you're saying there's a different way to interpret. You can reframe how you view those signals, which is another skill, so that's the trick here.
It is another skill.
Like how you view the signals and what you do when you get those signals is a skill all by itself. And Stacy's saying, in fact, that could be a way where you start with those baby steps, is to say, okay, when I start to feel like this is new stuff, there's a different, to reframe it and not view it as a threat, not view it as this means there's something wrong.
Right.
But you're saying if I start to get these new signals, it's saying, this is new. Hey, I wanted new, because new means I'll get different results.
Yes.
New is good. It doesn't mean you have to do it all at once. You can take it baby steps, and Bethel talked about tiptoeing.
Tiptoeing
past the bully. So the bully's standing there going, this is new stuff, and you don't know what you're doing. And you say, it's a learning process, as Sarah said. It's a learning process, and to recognize that those new signals mean you're learning new stuff. And that's the point. You want to be learning new stuff. It's not a bad thing to start to feel those signals that this is new.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was number 2. Number 1, it's worth it. Number 2, to reframe the signals that instead of viewing it as overwhelm, I need to stop, or I need to take a...
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can even get excited about it.
Yes.
Because I do.
Hey, it's new.
It's new.
Not, it's new.
And that means I'm on the edge of a breakthrough. It means there's something there that once I get past, my life will shift effortlessly.
And if you've ever, an example for me, I went water skiing, and the hardest part is getting out of the water. So you're sitting there, there's all of the inertia and the strength and everything. You have to keep your balance and keep the skis in front of you and hold on to the rope. And then the boat takes off, and that first moment you just have this huge pull, and it's turbulent. And then you're going behind the boat, and you're right in the wake, and and then if you just do this little hop where you have to keep your balance, and you're out on the smooth water, you're like, so nice. So I kind of, when you're saying it can be exciting when you hit these new signals, because then you're hitting the learning, I think you have the perspective of having jumped out of the wake. And you can look back and say, wow, when I hit that turbulence, I know there's something on the other side of it that's going to be an improvement.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to make something right now that's hard, it's going to be easy later. If I can get past that breakthrough and understand what it is that's blocking me, because that overwhelm comes, why is it there anyway? Like, think about, why is it there? And it's there because there's something you don't understand that you are pushing toward. Like, and it's new, like you said, new.
And when Stacy talks about the first concept of examining the lens, if new means threatening, and threatening means it can make you feel a certain way, and if that way is bad, then if you back it up, that's why anything new is to be avoided. If you change that lens so that it's no longer something that can make you feel bad, and so that new can mean something you're learning, and that learning something means that you can make improvements and changes in your life that you want to make, and that there's just a process, and the process will get you there if you just stick with it. That's a completely different lens, and it opens the door. Yeah. Instead of saying, I can't learn anything new, I'm just going to stay with how I think and how I feel and just keep doing it this way.
Yes, and that might be the result, but I doubt someone would think that.
Yes. That's not the process they're thinking. It's just responding to the signal.
I think what's likely is they would step away and not know exactly why. Yeah. I'm not giving up. I'm just pivoting.
Oh, look over there.
I'm too busy right now, or whatever. Different things. Anyway.
So if you're listening to this and you're saying, I haven't done as much as I was thinking I would do in this program, I haven't really taken something I want to make a change in, or I haven't translated the concepts, I haven't internalized it, stuff like anything along that path.
I haven't even caught up with the videos.
Yeah, that is so normal.
Yes.
That is so normal, and that is exactly what the traditional model will encourage, because it's new. And Stacy said from the beginning, this is new.
Yeah.
This is going to be new, dramatically different.
Right.
Okay. So that she expects that you're going to bump into those signals from the very beginning. And if you are, that's so normal.
Yep. Yep.
But that's why this group is here, because if you're doing that, if as a group say, okay, this is what's happening, open up to support, keep just taking the baby steps.
Yes.
What else would you say? What
Yes.
else would you say?
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
That would be the next one. Number 3 would be keep taking baby steps. So say you are overwhelmed and you're like, that's even overwhelming to deal with my overwhelm.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
Because those are new skills
Yes,
too,
yes.
like you mentioned.
Right. Even dealing with overwhelm is a new
Yes.
skill, right?
So I would say keep taking baby steps. And the reason why I'm so excited about the way that we've done this book group is that every day is a baby step.
Mm-hmm.
It's so short. The text is so short. The video is so short. It's like even if you tried not to think about how overwhelmed you are and just got yourself in front of the video just enough to watch it, and even if you didn't feel like you could do the mental effort to make it make sense, you didn't want to ask your own questions, you're just saying, okay, what's the minimum to keep taking steps until you get through that turbulence, that overwhelm.
Great.
Yes,
Okay.
and then once you get on the other side, then it pulls you. Then you want to learn. You want to do the extra steps. You're excited.
Okay, cool. Okay, so if there are any other questions, let me just recap. One of the things that this question had to do with was, are we talking about rewiring, playing a different record, like completely changing the way you view yourself and self-acceptance and that kind of thing? Yeah. But what Stacy said is that's no different. Changing that is no different than picking up a new skill like playing the piano. Changing foreign language is another one that, obviously it's in the book as well, but you're used to saying, when I go to someone and I want to talk to them, I'm used to saying, hey, how's it going? And if you're going to do that in a foreign language, you really have to reprogram.
Yes.
You have to play a different program.
Yeah, you do.
And it's a process, and there's a turbulence in the beginning. It's a learning curve. That's why they call it a curve.
Right.
And all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And Stacy is here to support you on that journey, especially if you're in the turbulence part of it. Feel free to reach out, get support, get help. That's why the group is here, because doing it on your own is a lot tougher, especially if you're not working with someone who has gotten out of the turbulence and sees what's on the other side. So yeah, we're here for you. Reach out, let us support you, let the group support you. This week, post anything about how you're applying things that inspire, things that you are hoping for some support or answers.
And respond to the orange posts.
Yes. So a lot of the orange posts have been a little more along theory and not like do this, but it's just the idea of just taking those baby steps. She's just giving baby step orange posts, right? They're going to get
more related to the text as we go forward. But right now, we're just wanting everyone to get in the habit of, here's an orange post. I can say something.
Yeah, just to say something, just to build that little baby step of on the orange post. Just take a tiny action. Because that builds momentum.
Yes.
And you want the momentum in your court. So this is your encouragement to open that door.
We're cheering you on. You can do it.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Anything else you wanted to say?
I think that's good. That's good for today.
Thanks. It was great to see some of those familiar faces. Thanks for being here. We love you guys. And we look forward to seeing you at the next live next Saturday, same time as this. Glad you could make it right while we're here. It's really encouraging for us too. We love to see that. So.
All right. Take care, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.